Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Kragger. What's wrong?
It's out of focus.
It's because of this is in the way.
Oh.
Hello and welcome back to Cooking with Kragger. It's been a while since I've done a video, so we are doing one that I really want to do, which is steak au poivre, or peppercorn steak. I found this recipe online like all my other recipes, so I want to give this a try. But the secret to this is we're going to pan sear our steak and we're going to finish it in the oven. So what you're going to need is some sort of a thick cut steak. You want some good marbling in there. We have just some plain old strip loins here. They're about an inch thick maybe. What we're going to do then is we're going to take our cracked peppercorns that I've cracked up with a pestle and mortar here. We're going to coat our steaks with that. We're going to put a little bit of sea salt on there as well. And then we're going to sear those in our pan with olive oil. It's heating up right now, and we want to get that to a temperature of about 350 degrees or 375. I've got a temperature gun here I'm going to use to try to make sure I get that temperature bang on. Then I'll put it in the oven for probably 2 to 4 minutes, maybe 3 to 5. We'll see how it's going. If you have a meat thermometer, it's probably a good way to check the temperature of the steak. But once the steaks are done in the oven, you're going to set them aside to rest. You need to let the steaks rest. That helps all the juices redistribute throughout the steak, and it's going to give you a very flavorful and very juicy steak, assuming you didn't overcook it. Once those are resting, we're going to do our sauce. So we're going to take the pan that we had in the oven, and then we're going to deglaze it with some Courvoisier. I might even do a little flambe here. Hopefully it won't set off the smoke alarm. Once it's deglazed, then we're going to put in some whipping cream. I've got probably a quarter cup here, but I'm just going to eyeball it. We're going to put in some green peppercorns. You get these in a brine, and they're usually in a can, so I've already drained and washed these off. And you're also going to put in some stock. So I've got some store-bought beef stock. I've put in some tomato paste to give it a little more body and a little more flavor as well. That's already on the stove, staying warm and reducing. And then we're going to finish the sauce with some butter. And we have some asparagus that we have blanched. We're going to fry that up in some butter and some spices. And we have some oven roasted potatoes that we're going to put on there as well. I'm not going to include those recipes. They're fairly simple things. So this is more about the steak and the sauce that we're doing. And let's get going.
Did you actually say the name of the recipe?
Steak au poivre. I said it at the beginning.
Oh.
Yeah. Before you sear your steak, you're going to want to make sure the oven is set to, the recipe calls for 500. I'm going to go 450 because the pans we're using here are pretty expensive and I don't want to ruin them. So I'm just going to finish those in the oven at 450. Hopefully it's not going to be a big splattering mess, but I guess when we get there, we'll see it. Depending on how much you like black pepper, you can put as little or as much as you want on. You have to remember that with black peppercorns, when you cook them, they do get a lot milder. I'm going to do a heavy one for myself and a not so heavy one for the wife. I've just ground these peppercorns probably 20 minutes ago. So I wanted some, oh, that's way too much for you. Because I wanted, I don't even know what I was going to say. Oh, I wanted them as freshly ground as I could, so. All right, so that'll be yours.
You could just pick yours up and put it on the rest there.
I probably could. Let's just see how much we pick up there.
Oh.
Okay, use my clean hand, get some more of that. Get a little bit more for you, and that should be good. Do you want some more in yours, or is that good?
No, you can take that big piece of peppercorn off.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna use a little bit of sea salt. Okay, let's press those in. Let me just clean up here. We do have our oven heated up right now at 450, so that's ready to go.
Yeah, you always want to make sure things are already preheated, especially when you're doing like a time crunch kind of a recipe, right? What's that at?
471. It's getting hotter. I mean, I'm almost on low. I might just have to go at hot and hopefully it doesn't burn. Okay, so we have our pan. We have to take it off the heat there. Let's see where we're at. 380, so that's a bit hotter than we wanted, but I think we're ready to go. Again, once you put this in, do not touch it until you're ready to flip. Just want to make sure oil's moved around. There. Okay, let those sizzle. George, you want to come be on camera? Come here. Nope. George is shy.
Georgie Porgy!
Actually, smells really good. I wasn't sure what it'd be like. Just gonna give it a bit more. I'm anxious to touch it, but I'm not gonna do it. Okay, we gotta take a peek. Nope, needs a little more. I wanna get a nice golden brown crisp on the edges of this, so we're not quite there yet, so we're gonna leave that a bit more. We have a kind of a non-stick pan we're using here, so our meat's not going to stick to it, but I think the recipe that I saw calls for a stainless steel pan. So you're going to want, if you're using a stainless steel pan or a non-stick pan, you definitely want to make sure that you don't touch it until you're ready to flip it, because they'll stick even more there. This one here, I can probably play with it and it wouldn't be an issue, but you should never play with your meat. Almost there. Almost there. I want to see what temperature we're at there. Yeah, it's not hot anymore. 300. All right, let's give her a flip here. Okay, we got a good crust there. Yeah, that's sort of the kind of thing I'm looking for on the edges there, a little bit of brownness. All right, I've already messed up my recipe. The minute you flip them, you're supposed to put it in the oven. So I'm gonna do that right now. And I hope this isn't gonna make a huge mess in there. Okay, that's in at 606. So we'll take a peek at 609 and go from there. We have our stock ready back here. And again, this is just some bought beef stock and some tomato paste. Not a whole lot, just enough to make a sauce for 2 steaks. You don't want a huge amount of sauce. Okay, it is 609 and a half, roughly. We actually didn't get a lot of smoke in here, so that's good. All right, let's see where we are here. That's still pretty springy. I gotta make sure I don't touch that handle. So I'm gonna take my steaks off, let them rest. There we go. Okay, let's let those rest. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of some of that oil, or do I wanna lose that? There's a lot of flavor in there.
You don't, I wouldn't get rid of too much of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of half. Let's do that. And yeah, the first thing we're gonna need to do is deglaze.
You want the heat on?
Oh, yeah, I don't have that on. Thank you. Whew, we can smell that alcohol.
That stuff is disgusting.
So we've got our Courvoisier in there, as a ladies' man would say. Is it?
The good thing you don't have really hairy eyebrows.
I do. There, you got to see a little flambe. All right, so we're gonna put in our cream. What am I gonna use to mix? Let's use this. Now, hopefully this doesn't curdle on me. Right. And while your steak is resting, if you have sides you want to prepare or anything like that, you can as well, but when you're working on the sauce here, you kind of want to do it all together. So now let's put in some of our stock. You know what? We're gonna do this. Let's go with that. Ooh, that smells pretty darn good. Okay, now we're gonna put in some green peppercorns. And if you've never had a green peppercorn, they are very soft. See how easy it is to squish it? It's like a pea almost. It feels like a mushy pea. So I'm just gonna let this cook a little bit. And then when I'm ready and it's at a thickness level that I'm happy with, I'm gonna turn off the heat and throw in a bunch of butter, and that's gonna make the sauce absolutely amazing.
Oh, Craig, you're so rough.
All right, so our sauce is still going there. I'm going to now take our blanched asparagus and I'm gonna fry those up in a bit of butter and some spice mix.
Slippery little suckers.
Yeah. Oh, look at the mess I made on the friggin' stove. You would think I would have been taught how not to do that when I was a little kid and mom and dad were teaching me how to pee, but apparently I didn't. Okay, so, oh, there we go. It was taking a long time for this to start thickening, but we're getting there now. Let that continue for now. And we're gonna use this. I don't even know if you can get this anymore, but it's a Jamie Oliver hot chili pepper mix. There's peppercorns and salt and chili peppers and everything else in there. This stuff's amazing when you use it like this with asparagus and butter. This might be done.
Yeah, because you don't want it like a really thick
No.
sauce, right?
No. Okay, that's thickening a bit. As it cools, it will thicken some more. I'll let those go and have fun in their spicy butter bath. And we're gonna go with a Paula Deen style size. Stick of butter in there.
I don't know if she eats that much butter anymore, does she?
Yeah, I don't know. She's still in prison?
She's diabetic or something.
That reminds me of cooking school. Yeah, that looks really good. Okay, let those go. We actually have our roasted potatoes back in the oven heating up. We cooked those a little bit ahead of time because we needed the oven for the steaks. And we didn't want it quite as hot as we had it.
And they take longer.
Yeah, they
to
take
cook.
way longer too. So now we're going to plate our steak. There we go. Gonna put on our asparagus. To think of how I want to do that. 3 for Alicia and 4 for me. Oh, do these ever look good? In the future, we might do a video of just small little sides, just kind of all the sides that we do at home for ourselves and stuff like that. A lot of them are pretty easy to do, so get a couple up so we can see. There we go. So these are thyme roasted potatoes, basically. We cut up some small potatoes, toss them in some olive oil with some thyme and put them in the oven.
And
that's all you do. Salt and pepper, yeah. That's all you need to do. And I think that is it. Oh,
The sauce?
thank you. I would hope this sauce would be a little thicker than it is, but it's still gonna have awesome flavor. So what we could have done is made a slurry or something like that to try to thicken it. Okay, That,
Did you taste test?
yeah, I'm gonna cut one open and show you what it looks like in the middle and give it a try. Which one should I cut?
Yours.
Again, this is off the end. This is probably more cooked than I normally like it, so I could have gone a bit less. But it does taste really, really good with that sauce. Get a bit of a view of it there. Again, that's only 2 cuts in, so it's going to be a little more pink in the middle. That is steak au poivre, or peppercorn steak. Traditional French recipe. That's it. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Take care.